Okay, it's what's today?
Hot.
Today is October 1st,
October 1st.
2008.
Yes.
Sure.
How many years has it been since we did the last one?
I don't know because Pat did the last one.
Well,
And my name is Tim.
we may look older, but we're not.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
What?
Since you want to introduce yourselves?
Not to this crowd.
I don't know who's going to be watching this, but
Loving wife.
you're
Mother.
that's your loving wife?
I'm a
Oh,
loving
you
wife.
are.
She's my loving wife. Yeah.
A mother, loving mother, and a very loving grandma. My name is Fran.
And I'm the nasty father and grandfather.
Okay, so Pat has videotaped you guys once before, and I assume he asked you ancestral type questions.
I don't remember
I
anything.
don't recall. Probably something about how
Well,
you met and
Yeah, I think he did.
things about that you remember about your parents or grandparents and things like that.
Mm.
Most likely, since that is his hobby.
Yeah,
He's writing our history.
he's not
Okay,
here right
these
now.
questions are just silly and hope they'll lead to some stories or something like that.
Okay.
And they're in absolutely no order at all. And they're kind of questions you may say are kind of unfair because some of them are like, "What's your favorite this?" or "What's your favorite that?" or "Name a moment in your life when you're this or that." So they all have that general twist. So I'd hate to be asked those questions, but maybe it'll lead to
If you're
some
gonna ask
arguments
what
or
our
something.
favorite child is, we ain't telling.
The one that I'm with.
Well, you know now, 100 years from now, if I say, "Is your favorite child Tim?" they'll be able to tell by your facial expressions whether. So I'm not going to ask that question. Okay, so we'll lead off. I guess I'll just read them in order. And you guys can answer these individually or as a couple if you like. If you want
Thank
to
you.
discuss it,
Okay.
because they may apply one way or the other. All right. Name something really brave that you've done in your life. It's not my best question. That's just the one at the top.
I married him.
Oh,
Great.
I mean, not generally people don't necessarily do brave things with forethought, but sometimes they do. I mean,
a little bit depends on what you consider brave. You know, doing something you're scared of doing, I think could be considered brave. We've never done any really brave acts like saving somebody from a firing inferno or
yeah.
something like that, but
Well, have you?
your mother got on parish council once.
That's
was
brave.
hard. That was our first parish council.
The very first parish council at St. Joseph's.
Which was in
Hamilton.
what year?
Oh goodness, that was when Father,
In the 70s or
Triple.
60s?
before Father Triple,
Before Father Triple?
Father Weaver. Wasn't it Father Weaver?
He was,
It's more or less called it to order. And then,
That's probably
hello.
Pat. We'll pause.
excuse me.
Back on. Okay, so that is a brave moment for Mom, because
That was hard, yeah.
proud of you, Mom. I didn't know you were on parish council.
What?
You were on. How long were you on for? A
I
few
think
years?
3 years.
Oh, okay.
That's a long
She
time
was-
ago, I can't remember. And I was vocal, very vocal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She was still on when Father Triple came.
We more or less were interviewed by someone from the archdiocese as to what type of a pastor do we want. Progressive, you know,
Is that
or
right?
traditional.
That's back when you had kind of a choice, huh?
Well, we thought we did.
I
Then we wound up with Father Triple, who, God love him, I love Father Triple.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really a nice guy.
Yes, yes, but he was almost too low-key.
Mm-hmm.
I think they asked for somebody progressive.
Not
too
too
progressive, but
much, because,
progressive. Yeah.
oh shoot, what's it called? Vatican II
Mm-hmm.
had really not gone into effect yet, and we were still a little bit on the low burner.
Conservative.
With hindsight, I would have asked for someone a little more aggressive. That's all about that.
The brave thing that I did in my life that I can think of is start our business in
Mhm.
electric.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that had to have been.
And the next
Tense.
brave thing I did was keep going for years. That's
Okay.
yeah,
So we'll continue.
sorry about that.
Start
All
his
right.
own
So
business.
yeah, started your own business and kept it going. Yeah, that's probably.
It was brave for both of us, really.
Mhm. So you
I
did
was
do it out of
very proud
need,
of it.
obviously. You had a job. It was, I
Well,
mean,
yeah. I was an
but it was
electrician.
just you were a point in your life where you felt that you could
Felt like I could do better.
do
He was a
better.
little
Yeah.
unhappy with just being an electrician.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we did it.
We took
We
a
survived
gamble.
it.
Didn't know we were going to for a while there.
One of my friends who worked for another contractor says, Joe, if you make it 5 years, you got it made. Well, we made it 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Made,
that's probably
made
the
it
most
25,
brave
didn't?
thing that
How long did it go? 25 years?
22.
22 years. Okay. All right.
And it only went down because we retired.
All right. Did you have any really scary moments in your life?
When he became a contractor. Very
Something
many
goes along with
scary
being brave.
moments in those 21, 22 years, very many.
I know you guys
Yeah, I
probably.
had a couple. One scary one when I got my fingers caught in the window that fell.
Oh, when
fingertips.
Mr. The
And
neighbor,
I'm trapped
Mr.
and
Daly, had to come.
Couldn't get loose and
How long were
nobody's
you like
around.
that?
I don't know how long it was that way, but I screamed and kicked and hollered until Mr. Daly next door finally heard me, came in and rescued me. That was horrible, horrible.
Who was out in the car?
All the kids.
All of them?
All right.
Yeah, I said, go out and get in the car, I'm gonna shut the windows, I'll be right out.
I probably
Big
wasn't
mistake.
born yet, was I?
Oh,
Who
yeah,
knows?
I thought
I think you
Might have
were.
been, okay.
I think you were.
You were probably
You were
young,
little.
Mhm.
That's probably why you all were in the car. I said, take the kids, get out in the car, and we all went out to the car. We were going up to Grandma's house, and
I was already up there, I think.
so
You know,
I was helping Grandpa do something. But that was awful. Could not get loose. Thought I was gonna lose my fingers.
So you were like that for several minutes.
Oh, at least several minutes.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say a good 10 minutes or
the-
more.
the
I mean, it's
seconds
hard to
ticked
tell. I
on,
was
huh?
getting really
Yeah.
panicked.
Yeah.
I was ready to kick the glass and break the glass out so
Mhm.
somebody would hear me. He was running the lawnmower right outside the window.
Oh, was he?
So he really couldn't hear me. So until I kept looking around, wondering who's hollering. That was awful.
Hmm.
And the only other time that I can remember when I was really scared, just for a few split seconds, was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, when my mother tippy-toed beyond her depth, and I'm right next to her,
In the
and
pool.
she, in the swimming pool, yeah, in the swimming pool.
motel.
She was scared to death of water, and I don't know why she went out that far, and all of a sudden she hit the slope, she started to go down, she grabbed me and tried to sit on my head.
This is obviously when you were an adult.
Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is,
She was. She
this
was.
might
She was
be
probably in her
before you were
60s
born.
or 50s.
yeah.
But she fell off into the deep end,
She
slid
kind
in
of,
the deep
yeah,
end.
you know how it
Yeah.
goes long and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
drops off, and she dropped off and she really panicked, so she grabbed me and
Yeah.
actually pushed me down and was trying to climb up on top of me, which I don't fault her, she was scared to death.
What? I think I've heard that story
Yeah.
before.
I reached up, grabbed her and gave her a big shove back to the shallower end, and she got her footing and let me go, or we about, might have both drowned.
I know that Pat and the two girls were there.
I don't know if the little ones were born yet at that time.
How much, I
No, they
think
weren't,
Marty
because
was
Marty
like,
was a teenager, she was like
16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
she's
that-
16 years older than you?
Yeah, I think she is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was a panic moment. My life flashed before my eyes.
All right.
Mine was.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Something scary.
The thing I'm thinking of right now, we were coming back from down south somewhere with our travel trailer,
Oh, yeah.
and I passed a big truck, 18-wheeler, and the wind caught the travel trailer as I went by,
Mm-hmm.
and it started flipping on us. All of us were in
Wheel
the
to
car.
wheel?
What?
Wheel to wheel, or?
It went from one wheel to the other
Is
wheel.
that right?
To
One
the other
side
wheel,
to the other
to the
side.
other
So it was
wheel.
really going, huh?
We
Yeah.
had the station wagon, cause I can
Yeah.
remember whoever was in the back said they saw it, you know, it really was bad. It finally righted, but
I finally got it under control, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were gonna go that time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even meet the truck driver at a rest area up ahead or something, and they even said scared them to death.
I think we did, yeah, it must've been a rest area, yeah. Yeah,
It's kind of funny because I kind of remember these moments, but I don't.
Could've been
I
about
do, but I
five-
don't.
5 or not
Yeah.
6 yet.
well, you've heard them before,
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure.
think it was when we were heading out.
Well, I was there.
No, this was on I-75,
Oh, was it?
coming north, that much I remember.
Okay.
Okay, have you had any moments? Everybody's had moments in their life where they got the giggles and couldn't stop giggling. Can you think of any time you were giggling so much and just couldn't stop?
That was almost given when I was with my friend Charlotte back when we were teenagers. Just about every time we got together, at one point or another, we would start it. One of us would start it, and the other couldn't
And just
stop,
keep
and
laughing.
then the other one couldn't. It was terrible, very bad. I think to this day, if we started thinking about it, we'd do it all over again. I don't know that you and I have ever done it.
No, you and I have never done it. The
Well, I think,
the
yeah.
time I remember doing it, I was in the 9th grade at Roosevelt Junior High School in Middletown. And it's the only year I went to Roosevelt Junior High. So I was in a class with most of the students in that class I didn't know at all. And something happened, I can't remember what happened, but I started giggling out loud. And another guy sort of joined in with me, and before we were done, we had the whole class and the teacher giggling, so that's all. Nothing big, but it's big enough I remember it. Still,
I think you have to be kind of young and innocent to do that. I'm not sure.
Kind of what?
Kind of young and innocent,
Yes.
To
or
giggle.
maybe have a couple toddies down you or
No,
something. Or, I'm
no,
not
this
sure.
was before that. Too young for that when I did it.
Although I think
But
you're.
it is contagious, because when Charlotte and I would do it, we'd finally have 3 or 4 people doing it with us.
I think your daughter Jan's had her fair share of those giggling. Okay. Is there when you think of nice people, is there any couple people maybe you think of, 1 or 2 people you can think of that just genuinely nice?
Genuinely nice people.
Anybody you ever met and thought, boy, that's just a really nice person? I mean, everybody's got their faults, but you obviously haven't seen them in this person or something.
That question makes me remember saying that out loud to your dad on occasion, but I couldn't tell you who I was saying it about.
Yeah, yeah.
Many times, that person was
Hmm.
really nice.
Maybe that's not a good question because I'm not sure I can think of anybody that I would answer that for. But
Of course, you think everybody that you are close to is nice, or
Mhm.
you wouldn't want to be close to them.
Yeah. I've got one couple of mine, I don't know if I should name them.
Well, they aren't going to see this video.
Whisper in my ear. You wanna tell me?
Oh, Mel and Mary.
Oh, yeah, Mel and Mary are
I
very
think
nice.
Mel and Mary Fearman are a very, very nice couple.
Mm-hmm. They are
Yeah,
nice.
they are.
And they're, whenever I've been around them or seen them, they're always nice to everybody.
You wanna say they're
Mhm.
genuine. They
Mhm.
are what they are. Yeah,
Mhm.
nice people.
I guess you haven't ever seen them judge other people, probably.
No, in fact, they try to stay away from that.
Mm-hmm. All
Probably
right.
think of somebody else when you're done.
Sure. Okay, on a nice topic. Let's see, how can I phrase this? Name a generous thing you've done that you're proud of?
Took our
Something-
kids to Germany on for our 50th anniversary.
And then turned around and took them to France 4 years later. 4 years later. Next trip's gonna be to Covington, Kentucky.
Generous things, huh?
Well, that counts.
We've tried to be generous in our
Well, I know
lifetime.
you have. You
We
probably
gave-
are always.
Pretty good amount of money to Baden High School
Nice.
a few years ago. It was a lot of money for us.
Mm-hmm.
That put us in a bracket that they keep asking for more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those one-time things tend to get you on a list.
We're on everybody's charity
Oh,
list.
yes.
Yeah. You guys have always been givers. Just an
We've tried
observation
to be.
as a child. I mean,
It's
Where it was.
it's sometimes hard
Yeah.
to stop.
you
If
know,
you gave to everybody that asked you for it, you wouldn't have anything to give tomorrow.
that's for sure.
And they have a way. One thing about all these charities, including the Catholic ones, if you give them $25, quite often a week later,
You get another envelope. in the
Yes.
mail.
another appeal,
Yeah.
and the first appeal will go $5, $10, $15, $20, $25.
Mm-hmm.
Place for you to check and
Mm-hmm.
send your check in. If you give them 25, the next time it comes, it'll be 25, 35, 50, 65.
And then the next
Things like-
time it'd be 100,
And no matter-
200.
if you hit that top bracket, the next time, that top bracket's the bottom bracket,
Mhm.
and just keep going on up.
Just for future reference, 100 years from now, a gallon of gas is about $4, and a gallon of milk's about $3.50
Yeah.
Right now,
right now.
yeah.
And those have both gone up tremendously over the past couple of years.
And how much is a movie?
Here in Hamilton,
Yeah,
it's only $6.50 in Hamilton, but you go out of town, it comes up to $9.50.
yeah.
Pretty cheap. Okay, if you could hold hands, close your eyes, flip a switch, be transported anywhere in the world for the next, I don't know, half hour.
Oh, half hour?
Okay,
Half
well, let's
hour.
make enough.
That's not even a good
Half
nap.
hour.
All right, 24 hours.
We'd
then.
be
Whatever.
hard pressed to wake up after.
Let's say tomorrow morning after you get up, you can be transported anywhere for the entire day, and then come back for
Anywhere
to
in
watch the
the
news at
world.
night. Mm-hmm.
Man,
maybe someplace you haven't
Oh,
seen.
that's a
or-
hard one.
Yeah.
There's so many beautiful, wonderful places in the
Mhm.
world.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to have been there?
Not really. No. Maybe there's a place you want to go.
I don't wanna go there.
I wanna go places she don't wanna go. Kinda like, one thing, you know, don't stand out quite as much right now, but right after we went there, one place we always said we would like to come back to was Sydney, Australia.
Mm. Yes.
It's just a nice town, nothing,
Yeah. It wasn't anything,
Outstanding.
architecture, well, other than
The bay. Yeah.
the opera house, or
the
whatever
opera
it is,
house
that's
and-
architecturally
and the
beautiful.
bridge.
It just was a walkable, friendly, pretty nice
Safe,
town.
we felt safe
Safe,
there,
yeah, you
Mhm.
felt safe walking around at night.
walking around at night.
But I don't know if I'd make that my first choice
I don't, but
necessarily.
probably wouldn't now,
No.
but right after we did it, we said we would,
Yeah,
that would be on our list.
well, we could go,
Rotenberg,
yeah, or I was gonna say,
We
we could
like
go up
Roten-
and sit
Mhm.
on the side of the Swiss mountain and
Up in
Yeah.
Gimmelwald.
up by Walter's place.
Gimmelwald.
Gimmelwald, yeah, that was great.
That's beautiful.
or in Lucerne overlooking the lake.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Lucerne.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah, now that's a good idea.
Hmm.
I could go back there. Up in,
Is
I can't remember the
a
name of it.
resort,
A resort.
We
up
never
on-
went up there. I don't know that.
No.
but I do remember the bridge, the People Bridge, going across the water. That was beautiful.
This was up on the other side of the lake, up on the mountainside.
this
looking
is
down.
up, well up
Mhm.
in, all the way at
Okay.
the top of one of those mountains that you're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a 5-star resort.
It's been on the
okay.
TV as one of the top 10 places in the
Yeah.
world.
Oh wow.
And we were fortunate enough to
And
stay there for
We went there
2 or 3 days.
with Richards Electric,
Mm-hmm.
and, we had a room with a balcony looking out over that
Over the
lake
lake.
and the town.
Way down. It was beautiful. And the
Really a memorable thing.
Yeah, the building
Mhm.
itself was beautiful, with spiral staircases,
So we enjoyed that the first
Mhm.
day we got there.
kind of out of our league
Mm-hmm.
that we were able to go there.
Well,
It was
out of our financial
Financial.
league, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful sunny day when we got there, and we were all out, you know. Most of us had rooms overlooking the view, which was the lake. And,
Everybody stepped out on the balcony at the
everybody
same
went,
time.
we got in our rooms, we were there about 2 minutes, and we walked out on the balcony and looked around, and everybody's coming out on their balconies too. So we stood out there, hollered at each other and talked, and, the next morning, when we woke up, there was, 6 inches,
Snow.
7 inches
Oh, is that
of
right?
snow.
Yeah.
We had a chair, 2 chairs and a table out there.
Mm-hmm.
The table had that much snow on top of it
Big
the
change.
next morning.
I
We
assume
were
this
out there
was,
in our church
assume this
sleeves.
was close to summertime. But you were up in since you were in the mountains.
May,
Early spring.
Early, yeah, okay.
The
early May.
first, we
Late
were over
April,
there
early
on
May.
May Day,
Yeah.
yes, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
the end of April, 1st of May. But on top of that mountain, you know, it's
Wish I could remember the name of it.
the resort,
Birkenstock.
Bergenstock, yeah.
Well, they make shoes.
Maybe that's not quite right, but
Yeah,
it's something like
Something
that.
like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Bergenstock.
but you've been to Lucerne.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember it was beautiful. Lots of very Swiss. Lots of flowers and clean.
So, just memorable places.
That was a very nice place, yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's where I learned how to walk like Charlie Chaplin. We had to walk down this hilly slope to get to the top of the what do they call them? The little trains that go up and down.
Tram,
Mm-hmm.
What do they call those? There's a word for it.
cog, railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cog railroad.
And
Yeah.
it was really
Called,
slippery, so we
mhm.
all had to walk kind of. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Um. Okay. Now, Grandma Meehan just died a few years ago, but for the most part, you've been without parents for a little while. So you think about your parents every once in a while. What's a very fond memory that you have of your mother or father?
I think about them all the time. Not lengthy
there
thinking, but
Any one memory you go back to quite a bit? Something they said to you, or something you did
I got
together?
a lot of
or-
memories I go back to with all
Yeah.
of them, but one
You'd
memory I
have to,
had
I
with
imagine.
Grandma was a few months before she died, and I think I've told this to you kids before. We were walking out of Walmart, 'cause we went out every week together for an entire day. We walked out of Walmart, and she always kind of grabbed my arm, and we walked like this,
Mhm.
you know, hold her up and everything. And she looked at me and she says, "What are you gonna do when I'm gone?"
Hmm.
And I said, "Well, you're not going anywhere, so I'm not gonna worry about it." Well, it wasn't, I would say, less than 6 months later, she died.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a kind of a nice, it's just a good feel, I can still feel it.
That's a hard question for me.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, what I remember is, there is no way in this world I would have guessed she'd have outlived my father by, what, 29 years?
Almost
27
30 years, yeah.
something like
27
that.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And hung in there like she did.
Mm-hmm. She did real well.
And she relied on me.
Mm-hmm.
And
When his dad died, your mother was only 72,
yeah,
and, excuse me, Eleanor, but I thought she was so old,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are older than that.
you older than me?
Yeah.
My most cherished memory of my father is he finally said to me one day, "I don't think you could have done it. I know you're the one that made it successful."
The business.
Mm.
He finally admitted that,
Yeah, that the business would not have
because I was,
gone on.
I was always second.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
but do you want to qualify that because Uncle Tom was such a good sports guy and everything like that, so he was always kind of in the spotlight.
He was a better athlete than
Yeah.
me, that's a given, but I was still always second in everything.
Mm-hmm. Or at least you
I
felt
don't-
that way.
Well,
You never know what he was
about
thinking.
this, I don't ever remember my father coming to a ball game I was in, any
Mhm.
kind of a ball game, baseball, basketball. I don't remember him ever being at one of my games.
Mhm.
For some reason. Well, that's sort of tough.
Mhm. Well, you guys knows how it is raising kids. I mean, everybody's got their different things you like about them, and
Yeah.
maybe he treated you differently because he knew. He
Treated me
could.
differently.
I don't know.
But I love him. I
Yeah,
love
I
him.
mean,
Yeah.
Willie was a
He went,
different type of person, yeah, I loved
even
him
though
too.
we're in the same trade and I worked for him
mhm.
at times for McGraw Construction. He would go overboard to make sure everybody else knew that he wasn't favoring me.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody else did something wrong, I got hell for it,
Mm-hmm.
in front of everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, good memories, I got one.
Well, it is a good one. It's a good one. Okay, we're gonna pause for a minute. My co-producer showed up. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So I've asked you if you could hold hands together and close your eyes or whatever. Flip a button where you go, and you said some fancy resort in Switzerland. Switzerland. Okay.
We said that,
Alright.
we said Sydney first.
All right. If you could hold your hands and go back,
We do that a lot.
not to a place, but to a time in your life, just for a few minutes to see yourself and your family or whatever. Name a time. You guys can each answer this if you want.
What was that?
You can each answer it, or you can answer it together. Discussion.
Go first.
What would you like to see again? Or maybe not together. Maybe it's just
Oh, no,
you're
yeah.
talking about basketball. Maybe you want to go back to see your
I
friends
don't
on a
know.
basketball hoop.
No.
Or,
Our time in Virginia Beach,
Hmm.
right after we got
That's
married.
exactly what I was gonna say.
oh, sure. Before you had kids.
I was
Yes,
there.
Yes,
Yeah,
from
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
first
It was
week
not
in
been that
June
long ago for me.
until,
Yeah.
we left to come home in whatever that was, September.
middle of October. right?
Well, you were supposed to get out then, but I thought you got out a couple weeks early, so it
That was,
the end of September.
You guys have your freedom now, but back then you had your freedom and your youth. And everything
Well,
was
just
new,
looking
right?
Back, I try to picture, I even had a dream, I think the other night, about the people that we rented from.
Oh, was that right?
And just to see all that again, and be who I am now. Because I was so shy back then that I didn't
Mhm.
really talk to them. I would like to be there and see, maybe, as you said, see us as we were, but
Mm-hmm.
interplay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
a wonderful honeymoon. Till he came along. I started to feel sick.
You ruined it.
Not the way I remember it.
Okay.
Other than that, I've often thought, what would I wanna go back, would I wanna go back? No.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see it all. I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
live it
I
all.
wouldn't mind seeing it
Right, right.
again, not changing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just
but-
observe it.
There's no way I'd wanna go back.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did it right the first time.
You try.
I know what you mean.
Probably wouldn't change anything, make the same mistakes we made.
All right, this is a really bad question.
Uh-oh.
We'll ask it anyway. Okay.
We will. What is it, Pat?
I don't know.
Okay. You're not very materialistic, you know. At your age, you probably cherish each other and your family more than anything in the world. But you wear your wedding rings, and I don't know if you have anything. But the question is there? Do you have any like one or two valued possessions that you've had maybe a long time or mean something to you? Material possession.
Do you mean cherished or valued?
Material
Cherished
possession?
more than valued. I mean, this isn't a money thing. This is
If you had to get up and walk out of the house and walk away from everything you own right now, what would you pick up and take with you?
All those pictures.
Well, yeah, and I knew you were going to
Besides
say
that.
that. Besides the pictures, because pictures are the obvious answer.
That's the obvious answer.
Because the pictures are your memories. They're part of your family.
What do you want to carry on? What are you going to hand to little Mike when he says, I want that? I'm just saying, what are you gonna carry on? I mean, something.
I'm trying to relate that to this question.
What cherished item is cherished to you? And then I was adding more to it, saying that, that you would want
Boy,
somebody else to maybe cherish as well. I'm not sure that's where you belong with that. I'm just trying to add some
I can't
value.
think of
I have nothing,
Nothing at all?
nothing.
It's all worthless, brother.
Okay.
it's all what?
It's all worthless.
Worthless?
I don't know.
I mean, you know,
not
I can
that-
say, well, I'd run in and
It's
grab
not,
my
it's not all
diamond
worthless.
rings and things like that, you know.
Well, I
just
don't
to
know.
be
I-
sure
I-
that you guys got
First
them.
thing I'd grab is my billfold, second thing's my pants.
Mhm.
You can buy pants. What is irreplaceable and cherished?
I think it's
Well,
nothing's a good answer though.
the only thing that's not.
I mean, just looking right when you, I might grab that picture of Grandma off the wall and run out with it, knowing the house is burning down behind me.
Well, it's
you
a
know, what-
picture.
Yeah, it's a picture though. It's a picture. You're right.
Which grandma are you pointing?
Well, I was just pointing at Grandma
Both of
Arno,
them.
but it
One
could be
in the
Grandma
corner.
Meehan too. Except for I have the Grandma Meehan picture, so I wouldn't be grabbing.
Well,
So
what
you
about
could-
what about something silly? Is there anything not cherished, but is there anything silly that you've had a long time and you like? I've always had like, say, you've had a comb, and that's been your comb for the last 45 years, or something like that. Is there anything you're hiding from us that only you know about? This is important to me, but not cherished per se, but it's just kind of important. You know, like you've had the same detergent dispenser for your laundry or something, or you've had the same shoehorn all your life, or I don't know. Is there anything silly like that?
He may have had the same shoehorn.
He's like all above.
I've got the only.
I was just gonna say, who needs more than one shoehorn? I'm with you.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't use the
I
whole
can't-
you know, when you were a
part.
kid, you had a stuffed animal, maybe, you know, and do you still have a stuffed animal, or is it gone?
I never in my life
Never
had a stuffed animal.
Okay,
No, if I
Anything-
I had a doll, but I already gave it away, so.
is there anything your parents might have gave you, or that you've had since you were a kid that you could have gotten rid of by now, but you kept because?
Well, our house is full of those kind of things, so nothing particular comes to mind.
Okay.
I mean, there's not a room in this house I don't look and think, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything we've got came from somebody or for some reason.
Well, I guess there's kind of a phase in your
That's
life
what we're
though,
so
because
tired.
you keep things after you got married and started having kids. You keep things. You find a place in the shelf for them. You know. But if there's anything that transcends that before we got married, before we had kids phase, is there anything you've had since you were little or before you got married? Nothing.
Nothing survived your childhood or teenage years?
I've got some.
I never had anything when I was.
There you
I've
go.
got a
The
little.
only thing I had was a bicycle. My brother got that.
Same thing happened to me.
Same thing happened to me.
You know, when I moved out, I didn't know that I was that much moving out.
and you know what's funny is I cherish all those things. Though. Thank you. They're all mine
I
now.
do have a jewelry box that has some little pieces of jewelry that are very, very old, from my, like, 6 years old.
You obviously don't wear those anymore,
No,
so
no,
you've
no.
kept
A little
those.
locket,
Kept
things like
those
that.
sentimental.
Wouldn't mean a thing
type.
to anybody else, but they're in a box.
Mhm. Okay, that's kind of
I
what I
could
was
grab
wondering
that.
about.
And I've got all the letters, I think I've got all the letters that he wrote me
Well, there you go.
We were dating.
That's cute. Yeah.
before we got married.
Mhm.
I'd have to scrounge to
That's
find them.
probably something.
Are they not all together?
They're all together, but I don't know exactly where.
Aren't they
That's probably
upstairs in the
something
corner
these
closet?
people won't
They're
even
downstairs.
be able to relate to.
What's that? Letters.
A letter.
Yeah, a letter is
What is
something
a
you write
letter?
on a piece of paper
Oh,
with
that's
a
when
pencil.
What's
Yeah,
what he called?
they used to have pencils. They're
It's
made
like
out of
email.
graphite or lead.
No,
Like texting.
texting. Yeah. We text each other.
I was
but
gonna
we had
go
to
there.
sit down and write it on paper
Yeah.
and put it in an envelope and put a stamp on it and
Mm.
mail it. And it got there about
Yeah.
4 or
Cross
5
each
days
other.
later.
Yeah.
They would cross each other.
But
Who knows?
No,
100 years from now, they
I
might
don't
not use
think,
paper
honestly,
anymore.
the material things in this house, that there's hardly anything that we, I mean, I can look around and gee, I hate to lose that.
What
that,
did you
that,
do with
that.
Dad's sailor's cap?
I think it got thrown in a toy box, and the toys got thrown away.
Is what?
Dad's sailor's cap. I think there was one or two of them in a toy box,
Dad had
like
a
a dress-up
sailor's cap.
box. It's possible.
I got
Mike's-
it when I was
Mike's
little and I
still
wore
be
it forever.
It's not downstairs. Is
Last
it?
time I saw it was on his.
So I think it got in the dress-up box with the
It
furs
might-
and stuff.
to be
it might
honest,
be.
I don't know if
I
it's
don't
down
know.
there
Yeah.
because I haven't looked for years.
Okay.
I think it probably got.
I don't know.
And
A
the
wedding
heck
dress
was
is
I gonna
down.
say? When we were in Virginia Beach till I got out of service, which was, what, 4.5 months. When we come home from Virginia Beach and I got discharged from the Navy, didn't get discharged, I got released from active duty. Had an old Buick
47?
47 Buick or Oldsmobile?
I wish you still had it.
Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile.
Is that the first car you ever bought?
Oldsmobile. And my release check, which was $100,
$100.
everything we owned and had was in that car when we came
Oh,
home
that's
to
awesome.
Virginia Beach.
No wonder. See, no wonder you want to go back there. You were free. You were young. You had no responsibility.
Even our
You
parakeet
could
was
do
in
it.
there with us.
It's a lot like prepping for a colonoscopy. Cleaned out, feel
Yep,
great.
start over.
Well,
Everything we
we
owned.
started.
Everything
Yeah.
we owned.
You know.
Our clothes, everything we owned
I
was
never
in
had
that
anything.
car.
Never had. Didn't know I never had anything, but I never had anything.
Mm-hmm.
My father wouldn't let me get a driver's license until I was old enough to get it on my own, which was 18 at that time. On my 18th birthday, a guy I was going to school with went and moved me down and I got my driver's license.
And we
He
had,
was a year younger than me, but he had his own car.
we had our first date on his 19th birthday.
Where was that?
Hmm?
Which was your first date?
We had our first date on his 19th. We met each other a few days before that, but we had our first date on his 19th.
Where was the first date?
Where was it? I think we went to the drive-in.
My dad, yeah.
What?
Went to a drive-in.
For those watching, a drive-in is where you would take your car and watch a movie theater outside.
We never went places. We never had any money. We
A
never-
car is a vehicle with gas.
You had to actually
Runs
manually
on
operate.
fuel oil and.
It took 2 feet and 2 hands.
Okay.
Steering column
Yeah.
shift. You
Oh,
know.
did it really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
High class,
But it was manual shift.
manual, but on the steering column.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
sweet. Nice.
Nothing
I got
down
real
here
good
on the
at that.
floor.
'Cause he'd put his arm around me and then I'd shift.
Now that's the kind of line of questioning I want to hit.
Okay. We did. We did that all the
Yep.
time.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
you were driving left-handed.
Yeah.
He'd tell me when he was putting the clutch in and I'd
Shift.
whoop, whoop.
That's fun. That'd be a good way to teach a woman how to drive a stick.
Yeah,
shift.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna lighten it up here real quick. Real easy questions. What's your favorite food? Fish.
Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
Meat.
Or goulash.
Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and
Potatoes
gravy.
and gravy.
Absolutely. it is.
Second would be goulash. Your mother's
Easy one, huh?
goulash.
But we only have goulash once a year, at most.
We,
That's one
we
of my
don't.
favorites.
We have more
Oh,
than that.
we
We
don't.
have it here.
You may, but they don't.
When do we have the meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy? Is that a
We
weekly
don't
item?
have that as often, but he eats it out a lot.
Whenever I can get her to make it.
Okay.
Mom does make good.
Every
meatloaf.
time I go to, what's the name of the roadside restaurant?
Oh, Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, he loves Cracker Barrel.
Which
If
vegetable?
I go to a Cracker Barrel, I get meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
Cracker Barrel's good dinner.
With peas or green beans or what?
Peas.
Peas.
Okay, Mom, real quick. How do you make goulash?
Goulash. Okay, pound a hamburger if
Yep.
you're just making it for a
Mhm.
small family. Pound a hamburger, round it out, put a lot of onions in it, and while that's cooking.
Dehydrated onions or just regular
Any kind,
onions?
dehydrated, frozen,
Yeah,
chopped,
whatever. Just get the
fresh,
onion flavor in there.
Chopped
salt
frozen.
and pepper. I use chopped frozen.
Oh, okay.
I used to use dehydrated. Half a pound or 3/4 of a pound of spaghetti. Boil that up,
You said salt and pepper.
salt and
Did you
pepper,
say garlic at all, or?
no garlic,
Okay.
just onion.
Mhm.
And then a can of tomato paste
Mhm.
and a can of kidney beans. and
Mix it
put
all
it all
together.
together with a can of water or so to get it all soupy,
Mhm.
and then you turn it down low and you let it cook for, after you get the spaghetti done, you put it all together, and you let it cook for maybe another 15-20 minutes or a half hour, so that it kinda soaks the juice up.
That's all there
That's
is to it,
And you
Okay.
get 2 pieces of bread and butter the
Butter
heck
bread,
out
we
of
gotta
them.
have butter bread,
huh?
Sop it up.
Nothing better, huh?
clean your plate with bread.
When's the first time you had that, Dad?
What?
Or Hungarian goulash, whatever it is.
Wasn't Hungarian, just plain old Brahhopper goulash.
Brahhopper goulash.
I was
Oh,
making
geez.
that right away, but my mom always made it with macaroni. Same type thing, exactly, but with macaroni.
Yeah.
His mom made it with spaghetti. First time I made it with macaroni. I was told my mom made it with spaghetti.
Your mom made goulash?
Yeah.
So I, from then
That's
on,
similar?
made it with spaghetti.
What?
That the same concept?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But with spaghetti noodles? Okay.
It was,
My mom made meatloaf.
Mom called it goulash, and there was another word for it. Slumgullion. I don't know if I'm saying it right or how it was spelled. Slumgullion. Figure that one out.
You got refills, bro?
Sure.
So you can use macaroni or spaghetti.
It's better with spaghetti.
I'm thinking macaroni might be pretty good.
Macaroni's good.
Either way, it's good.
Yeah.
All right, that was what your favorite food. Mom, what about your favorite food dish? Food dish.
My
That's
favorite.
what Dad's is. Do you have a different one that you like? You don't have one. You make whatever he wants.
I love goulash. That would be a good one. I remember growing up, my mother used to make, I can't think of
Your
the
mom
name.
used to make it, but you
Steak,
don't?
Chop steak,
Country steak?
Swiss steak?
Swiss
not Swiss steak, no.
country
When they
steak
run
or
it
what?
through like a piece of
Yeah.
meat through a thing and just kind of
Oh, okay.
chops
Just
it all up.
chop steak.
Can't remember, what in the world do you call it when you buy it that way? But she used to make it so.
Yeah, there's another word for it.
Salisbury steak?
No, that's all got sauce on it. This never had any sauce. It had flour, you breaded it, fried it.
Country
They
fried
used to call
steak?
it-
Kinda like country fried steak,
Yeah.
but not.
It had a name,
Hers was
yeah.
different,
I
yeah.
can't think of it
Hmm.
right. We'll tell you when we
I
think.
think of it, I'll holler it out. But
Okay.
my mother made that so good. Oh, I love chili soup too.
Hmm.
There's nothing like a good steak, but I didn't even know what a steak was until I was probably 30.
That made 2 of us.
What is a steak?
I mean, an actual cooked, nice, juicy,
We used to have friends that would talk about
steak. I
the
didn't know.
kinds of steaks they would have.
I don't think I had a steak till we were members of Nika.
Yeah,
I don't. They asked me what kind of steak I wanted. What?
There's kinds.
Then they say, how'd you want that cooked? What?
Yeah.
All right. Mom, you've always been a reader for the most part. I don't know what you read, but read. And Dad recently picked up reading after retirement. And now probably passed Mom up, maybe. I don't know. Name 2 or 3 of your favorite books. Do you have any books that
I
you
can't.
could look at that in different ways? There's a book you've read and you really enjoyed, and it affected your life perhaps in some way, or you just like the story, or there's books that you've read a few times because you like them so much.
Never read a book 2 times
oh, I have, I've read
on purpose.
not on purpose maybe, but I have. I love the Narnia tales. I don't, that just
Those are
comes to my
recent,
mind.
aren't they?
And thanks to,
They're old.
They're old. Oh, okay, but
Recent
they
for
just
her.
came out on a movie recently.
oh,
Yeah.
they're real old,
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
real old. But I saw the movie, I can't think of the name of the movie, but anyway, it was about C.S. Lewis. And they mentioned the Narnia tales in that.
The
and I
biography movie
mentioned- Yes, more or less.
about him and his mistress.
And his wife.
Well, that's the one I'm calling mistress.
anyway, I just mentioned it to Pat that it sounded intriguing. I often wondered what that was, you know, and here he came up with the whole series for me, so I thoroughly enjoyed reading that, and I probably could read it again. The movies are nice, but the books are better.
So the movies that are just came out, like the Narnia Tales or whatever, that just came out, that's one of the books, I
Prince
guess?
Caspian, yeah.
That's the first of 7 books.
Okay.
Prince Caspian?
Yeah.
Wasn't the first.
Well, it's the first one made in the movie.
Yeah. No, well, they had I thought they had one before that. The original where.
Oh, there are 2 that are out now.
Yeah, it was 2.
You're right.
That was the second one.
Okay. But those were written in
But
the
then
50s,
I
maybe?
have got books downstairs that I read probably 50 years ago, and I know there were a couple of them. I remember one that really, when I read it, I have to read it again. For some reason, it affected me. It was called the Tontine.
Yeah.
And it was 2 books that thick. And it was all about a lottery. And it was very intriguing. Very intriguing. I won't get into the whole plot of it, but it was good.
Well, it's about a bunch of guys that die, and as each one dies, so
Yes.
the last one
They all-
inherits
The
it.
last one collects the money.
Yeah.
And it was quite an interesting book.
Dad?
And I'm sure there's lots of other ones. The Shoes of the Fisherman, that was a good book.
What? Shoes of the
The
Fish?
Shoes of the Fisherman.
St.
About
Peter.
St. Peter.
Oh, okay.
And that was the strand. I'll tell you a silly story there. I belonged to a book club, so this came through the mail. And I'm reading this book, and all of a sudden it gets to this chapter. The chapter started over again. I was so upset. Here they had taken the last part of the book and skipped it, left it out, and put the second to the last, you know, how it was
Twice?
made up in twice.
Did they replace it for you?
I wrote them a letter, sent it back, and they replaced it, yes.
it's a book you liked.
Maybe that's why I remember it so
I
well.
can't remember the names of the books. I like Tom Clancy.
Mm-hmm.
He
He's,
likes Patricia
I like-
Caldwell,
Patricia Caldwell.
Are these murder mysteries or?
yeah.
Yeah.
Tom
Tom Clancy's isn't all murder, but
He's
it's,
spy. isn't he?
Clancy's, yeah, no,
Spy,
it's
FBI or
military,
military?
espionage,
Right.
yeah.
it's high tech.
I like the one about kidnapping the Pope. Is that
Ludlam?
it? Huh?
Is that Robert Ludlam, or is that Tom
No.
Clancy?
I thought it was Tom Clancy.
Kidnapping.
Cause
Pope.
something, what's the name of the Pope's summer home?
I forget.
Cardolfo,
Oh, yeah,
And we just left
Gandolfo
there.
or something like that.
Cardolfo.
I don't know.
That's built into the title somewhere, 'cause that's where they kidnapped the Pope.
Yeah, your dad is reading a lot.
So that's it.
I'm proud of him.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
reading
glad he
six.
has his eyes.
Right now, every time I go with your mother somewhere, I bring this one book. And I've been reading it now for 6 months.
Really? You're stuck on one book?
Well, I gotta start over again practically to figure out where I was. I put a marker in it. but
Must
then I
not like
gotta-
it too much.
So. You can't cut grass and read books at the same time.
Okay, we're ready for the next one.
Ready? All right. You have your own little routine now that you're retired. You guys are pretty busy taking care of your adult kids and going to church and playing Sudoku. what's your I don't know why I lead into this, but anyway, what's your favorite time of the week? What's your favorite couple hours of the week and why?
Tuesdays, he plays golf.
Okay. Playing golf on Tuesdays, is that it?
Yeah, no matter how bad
That's what
I
you look
am, I
forward to?
still
Okay.
enjoy it.
You both enjoy that data test.
I didn't say that.
That's what
Who
it
do you
sounded
play
like.
golf with? No. Is it different every week or for the most part? Who,
No,
do you play?
pretty well the same guys.
Who are they? Is
Mel Fairman, Dick Fairman,
that Mel's brother?
yeah,
Okay.
older brother. Lou Spade. Guy named,
Does Lou Spade keep the space father?
yes,
Who's a judge
Oh.
judge
Hmm.
here? Who's a judge in the county here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
City maybe. Not sure.
mine went blank.
Did you say Mel,
Yeah.
Parker?
Two
Lawton?
Fearmans and a
Parker
spade.
Lawton.
So you got a couple teams going usually.
We go anywhere from 3 guys to 12.
Oh, okay. You
We're
walk
lo-
or
We're losing them though.
walk or ride?
Yeah, walk or
But
ride.
Walk or ride, not
Mhm.
different every week.
I rode, yeah,
If
yes.
it's real hot, he rides.
Mhm.
I'm riding now because my heels hurt.
Oh, okay.
But
When-
I like to walk because I get a little exercise. out
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. Got to use it or lose it.
But we enjoy going to church every morning.
Every morning?
Every morning,
Fine.
but Saturday.
Yeah, we go 6 days out of 7. Don't go
Prayer service every morning?
Communion service.
5 out of 6.
Communion service?
Communion service.
It gives you a reason to get out of bed.
How long does that last?
Half hour. Well, it takes about an hour because we say the rosary before, and then at 8 o'clock to almost 8:30, communion service.
On that topic, Dad, just on a sidebar, how many Sundays in your life have you missed Mass? Then we'll go back to Mom's favorite part of the week.
Maybe 2.
That's what I
I
thought.
was with you on one of them.
Where were we?
Germany.
Oh, we missed in Germany?
And we went to church, we didn't
Oh, yeah,
go to
went to
Mass.
church.
Wittenberg.
Oh, we missed church.
Well, I don't count that as a miss.
Oh, okay. There are rules to missing Mass. If you
Oh,
go there
because
thinking there's a Mass and
I
there's not a
honestly
Mass.
believe you
We didn't have
stand where
communion.
your intentions are.
Yeah, I agree.
Your father, I don't, he
We
never missed
intended
Mass.
to hit a mass and it,
That was communion,
They
or that wasn't even communion service. That was just a prayer
We
service,
missed,
right?
we also missed
We don't
when
know, it
we
was in
went to
German.
Russia.
Yeah.
In Russia, we could not find a
Yeah.
church.
Oh well, that's explainable. That's
so we have,
a tough one there.
on our trip out west when we went for 5 weeks, we didn't miss a mass.
We missed Mass.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one
And we
occasion.
were out in no man's land a couple times.
It's all Spanish Catholic though.
Do you remember, or maybe you probably were
These
there.
were
I don't know.
Indians, I think.
We were gone on August the 15th, is it, the Assumption? And we forgot it was a holy day, and we're driving through this town, and there's this church, and all these people are going in, and all of a sudden, the light bulb hit. We parked the car and went in, we didn't even miss on that day.
When we were in Germany with the Kettmans, and we were heading up North Germany, where you guys didn't go there with me.
Visit her family.
Visit her family. So we headed up that way on a Saturday morning. We got there into that town Saturday night about 5 minutes till 5. And there's the church in the middle of town and people going into the church.
And in we went.
And we went.
Good Lord seems to always put these churches right there at the
Right
right
there
time for us.
where we
so
need them.
It's happened
So
even
we
coming,
were,
coming
you know,
back from Florida many times, where in the world are we gonna stay and where are we gonna find a church? Right there,
we were considering making a
yeah.
directory of churches on I-75. Times,
Yeah.
mass times, and where they're at, and that kind of thing.
I don't think your dad's ever missed Mass for sickness. If he did, it wasn't very much. I have, but you haven't.
No,
But never on purpose.
never because we were lazy. Tired, too tired to go to church. I didn't feel good.
Mom, what's your favorite time of the week?
Favorite time of the week?
When Dad goes golfing and you can relax for a little while.
What?
When Dad goes golfing,
Me
you can
being
relax.
here, don't stop her from relaxing.
I take my nap every morning. I enjoy my Tuesdays too. I mean, not that they're any better than any other day, but I go usually with my three girls
She
to
enjoys
lunch.
being with your sisters.
Yeah, we go to lunch and then maybe to the grocery, or if something else comes along, we'll do that, shopping or whatever. But I love Sundays. I really love Sundays. Once I make up my mind what I'm gonna cook for all you people, and the pressure's off of that, I enjoy having everybody here.
And Pat and I can always help you out there. Just give us a call if you need help.
We can pick things out.
Not making it, deciding what you're
Yeah.
gonna make.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I've already got it picked out for Sunday.
Really? Stuffed peppers? When's the last time you made stuffed peppers?
I don't know, but I'll remember that. You
Okay.
want that?
Yeah, but make it a weekend when nobody else is here.
You
So
come up with some more peppers.
we're about peppered out.
Well, you waited too long.
I tried.
You should have brought up stuffed peppers a couple months ago.
I kept
Remember
bringing
that next summer.
Yeah, when you got all those peppers.
them. You could stuff banana peppers. They all go stuffed. They're good.
All right, you ready for this next one?
No, but go ahead.
Hey, you sure? You're not ready? That's a good answer. Okay, tell me about a low point in your life, a really sad low point.
Well,
What
Other
you've
than
been trying to
deaths,
forget.
you mean?
Yeah, other than deaths.
Other than
yeah.
deaths?
Other than
Deaths
that.
again are probably obvious. But just where you didn't have all the answers and you weren't sure you were ever gonna find them. Everybody's got low points. You don't have to be embarrassed.
well, you know.
Just spill them
I don't know
out
if
to
you
the world.
consider this a low point, but it was a very worrisome time was when I was pregnant with Jan.
Mm.
We had a couple of months there where we didn't know if we were gonna have a baby or not have a baby. And then when we did start to have the baby, we didn't know if we were gonna have a mom
Yeah.
for a little while. So that was kind of a bad time. Probably harder on him than me.
When the doctor walks out into the waiting room and says, "We need blood for your wife and we don't have any. Go get some."
That just sounds.
What
That sounds
do you
funny
do?
nowadays. I don't know that would ever
That's-
happen.
Not the words he used, but that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And mom has O negative.
No,
No,
A
A negative.
Oh, A negative, so not quite as bad.
so I started calling
So I
relatives.
got some stranger's blood in me, didn't I?
Yeah,
Somebody that was just in town and staying at a motel or something and donated
Yeah.
blood.
and
Well, I hope he only donated a pint. I mean, that guy didn't go home and die or something.
No,
It was a stranger, you say?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
well,
for one
that
pint.
was just one of them.
She took many pints.
And this is back before. Did they get compensated for it at all, or
Not the donor.
draw from?
These people didn't.
So it was just out of the kindness of his heart. He actually felt for
Well,
it.
we
He
had
got
it
on
on
the
the radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There was a Baden, I think, basketball game.
Wouldn't have been Baden,
Yeah, it
would
would
it?
have.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Could have been.
It was the same year.
66, no. So
It's probably Hampton Catholic.
probably Hamilton Catholic basketball game.
Baden was cornerstone in '66, so it probably wasn't Baden. But it could have been. Janny was born.
Graduated, yeah.
It could have been
November.
Baden.
It was
Baden started that
yeah,
fall.
Yeah,
Baden started that fall.
yeah. They graduated '67,
Yeah.
first class.
Yeah.
It sounds very
So
odd
it-
to me.
it got-
that-
Around during
Yeah.
that basketball game in game. What's her name that used to be our neighbor? Lives over
Don Asplin,
Asplin,
Kathy,
Kathy Asplin. Got her blood.
hers, I thought it was his.
No, it's hers.
Oh,
Is that who we bought the trailer
Trail
off
from,
of?
yeah.
Yeah, they had a kid in my class.
She gave blood. I gave blood. I don't think they used mine, but I gave. I don't know how much they used.
I don't either, I don't remember. I know that I had lost a lot of blood, cause I was gone, I was passed out, I thought I was
Did you
dead.
say what you had?
Huh?
Placenta previa?
When I was hemorrhaging. Next, I don't remember any
That, any other low points in your life?
low
or-
points. Every now and then.
Well, going back to the business again, when, it was somewhere about 2 years after we started it, we ran out of financing,
Mhm.
and what turned out to be a guy I used to play golf with, he was part of our group at one time, told me at, Second National Bank, says, Joe, about the only way you're gonna get money is to refinance your house.
Mhm.
We had just paid our house off when we started a business, we had paid Southern Hills Boulevard off. Probably within a month. And, so we had to borrow as much as we could on that to keep the company going,
Mhm.
and that was quite worrisome.
Just because you had employees that you had to be paying, or you
You have
you're
to
paying
buy
off material.
material.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to buy equipment sometime, all that,
Mhm.
you know. Had to pay ourselves even some.
So it wasn't so much you were losing money, but you weren't making a bunch, obviously, and you had to keep money in the
Well,
liquid money to keep the thing.
you know, the
going.
market keeps changing. I mean, we're not a bunch of small jobs, so we had to get a little bit bigger.
Mhm.
And you don't get paid right away, but you
Mhm.
still have to pay your employees and you have to pay for the material.
Mhm.
But we got that paid off. But it
There
was
were quite a
quite,
few of those
quite
little
worrying. We
problems,
thought
but-
we were gonna lose our buckets for a while.
Usually around every November is when I start to panic, because winter was really setting in, and there were no jobs to keep going on, and I would worry just about every year.
Other than that, no. I can't think of anything.
Not that we couldn't get ourselves through. Because we had all the same things you guys go through, you know, with raising kids and being up all night with sick kids,
Mhm.
having little spats now and then where the neighbors probably thought you were killing each other, you were hollering so loud.
Oh, we don't wanna talk about stats.
You don't have those anymore, I'm sure.
No, we really don't.
Ain't worth it.
You never won one anyway.
The arguments are usually stemmed from a third party. We don't have a third party in this house anymore.
You guys were the third parties.
Mm.
I think it took a fourth party, cause I remember when there was three of us, we never had a problem.
We disagreed a lot over how to raise you guys.
Okay, I like jumping these questions around a bit.
Fortunately for you guys, your mother won.
I know.
Let's see. It's likely you'll live to see a great grandchild.
Great.
No, just a great grandchild.
Great, okay,
Yeah,
I hope I live to see a great.
It's possible you could live to see a great, but
Well, I don't think so.
We have to hurry up.
probably unlikely.
I wouldn't even
I
want
don't
that
know if
because
our eyes
then
are
they'd
gonna
have
be
to,
that good.
yeah, they'd have to get married off.
We do
the,
have a wedding next spring. This will be the first wedding, right?
Yeah.
Coming up? Okay. All right, but there's, in all likelihood, going to be somebody watching this video in 50 years that you won't have ever met. They don't know anything about you other than these few moments and the other videos we've made or are going to make. But you got any message for them? Message or word of advice for your
Message.
great
Remember
or great
why
grandchild.
you're here. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Always remember why you're here, who put you here, and where you're going when you leave. That's the whole thing of life. It's not what the fun and games in between.
Or how much you gain,
Pay
or
attention.
how nice a car you got, and how nice a house you got. How big it is.
Remember who you are. who you came from.
Well stated.
It'll be the same then as that is now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
important thing. Important thing is remember where you came from and where you're going and why you're here.
And the older you get, the easier it is to accept that.
This doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
That does.
Maybe in 50 years the paneling will be back in style and stuff, and
What?
the paneling behind your head will be back in style.
Oh my God, there is paneling.
It's about to rain.
We don't care.
I'm just joking. Yeah.
I've never noticed.
If you ever want to sell this house, we'll have to paint that or cover it.
What really is nice is, we went to see some friends of ours, the Wiegans, yesterday. No, Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Monday. Went down to see them for a little bit. And they said they'd come walking up the street Sunday afternoon. And
Yeah.
they heard this bunch of little kids whooping and hollering and having a grand
good
time. And it turned out to be in our front yard.
Mm-hmm.
It really impressed them.
Mm.
In fact, all of our friends are impressed by our family. I have to make a statement for the future. Family is wonderful. Keep your families close,
Mm-hmm.
because we've got a very unique family.
We are the only family in our whole group of friends that have all their kids around them.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
No, we
I don't know why that is. It's kind
It
of
wasn't without effort.
yeah.
I fought tooth and nail to keep all you guys here. Swear to God.
I don't know.
Anytime anybody moved away, I bitched.
I had big dreams. Moving somewhere fun.
Going away isn't part of the dream.
Mm.
Big is fine. You can do big right here.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
And it's nice. It's
Yes, it is.
All right. Got a few more questions.
nice. I hope.
All right. Is there anybody in your life, or any one or two people that you considered that influenced you greatly, like a mentor, or a big brother, or that you looked up to, modeled yourself after them in some way, took their advice,
Yeah. Just rattle off anybody that influenced you.
your influences?
Grade school, high
could
school,
be
adult
just a
life,
small thing. You can name 5 people, or you can say, "Hey, this is the one person."
friends, teachers, priests,
Whatever.
neighbors.
Father Joseph McCoy, SM, taught me religion at Hamilton Catholic in 1950.
Good man.
I thought he was, I think he is, yes. Some of the other guys in my class didn't like him at all, but he just impressed me. So, yeah, he's the first guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second priest that influenced me a lot, your mother fought at the store.
I don't think they even caught that. Father Sturworth.
No,
Who? Who'd you say?
Up a storm.
I said, you fought up a storm.
Oh, okay. Oh my land, well, he was bad too.
Who was it?
I'm trying to bring out his name.
I can't think of it.
Which
either.
parish?
St.
St.
Joe's.
Joe's.
He was assistant pastor at St. Joe's.
Before Shriver? Assistant to who?
Father Shriver.
Assistant to Father Shriver.
Yeah.
Dower?
Yes.
Dollar. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That was bad. To the point where about 2 years ago, we went up and saw Father Ken Schroeder. And that's the first time I ever broke down in front of somebody and told them what I thought of another priest.
Now, how could he think he was a great influence and you had problems with it?
She had problems with him because he was influencing me, and it didn't go over with her.
He had Joe going to, I don't know how many meetings. It seemed like you were gone all the time, belonging
He
to
was.
the deanery and St. Vincent de Paul, and I don't know what all you belonged to. And there I am home with 5 children, trying to cook, clean, and get them to bed at night, get their lessons and everything. And he came in one night, and I said, I had a couple of the, probably you and Jan were in the bathtub. And I said, would you go in and get them out of the tub? I am exhausted. And he blew up and said, Father Barr said, that's your job. And he as much as told me that a woman was supposed to, what, have that ball and chain on her ankle or something and no shoes and take care of everything. So,
Wow.
yeah, we almost got a divorce over that.
No, you didn't.
I told Father Ken,
Oh,
I
she
said,
was.
I don't know how we got talking about that when we visited Father Ken Schroeder, and there's a little old priest sitting next to him too. And all of a sudden I start saying there was one time in our
Well, they
life,
knew him because
He should still be around, isn't he? Now.
he's up,
I think he died.
oh, Bauer, yeah, I think,
Yeah, he was pastor up in
I think they said. he-
Wapakoneta.
He
I
wasn't,
think it was St. Joseph
he
Wapakoneta.
was about your age, wasn't he?
He's older than me.
A little older? Okay.
Not much older, around a couple of years maybe.
Yeah, at least a couple.
Well,
I
remember those
liked
days.
him, I liked Father Barr.
Other than that,
Well,
but he was
until
a
that happened.
he was a chauvinist for sure.
He just recognized that different people have different places in society, that's all.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean you're a chauvinist.
Oh, he
Be
came
careful.
darn close. I mean, I almost kicked him out of the house that night. I
Yeah.
really did.
He was in our house.
I don't think I
No,
don't think
me.
I,
Oh.
yeah.
I
I don't think I talked to him for weeks after that. Talk about a
Yeah.
low point. That was probably a very low point.
I
That was a bad one.
remember those days, brother.
Mm.
That was a real bad one.
I
I
remember
mean, how
Dad.
could it be wrong? He was a priest.
Yeah.
That's the way he put it.
Mommy, where's Daddy? Oh, he's
I mean, he put me down so bad because he came back with all these answers. He's a priest. He knows. He knows how you're supposed to live, you know. I just kept sinking lower and lower and lower. Guess who got the kids out of the tub that night? Not him. Oh well. But we
Probably
survived
me.
Father Barr.
Father Barr, we
May
survived
you rest in peace.
He's probably looking down going, another success story.
I brought them together. Took a slap in the face, but I brought them together.
Mm.
Mm.
Any other influences?
I
Just
don't
little
think
things?
I mean, a lot of people I admired, and probably because of that, what I saw they did and how they handled their lives, but I couldn't name any particular one. I know at St. Joseph's, when I was growing up, they had benediction every Sunday afternoon at 2 or 2:30. I can remember that. My mother never made me go. Mom and Dad never talked about it, never mentioned it, but every now and then on Sunday I'd be free and I'd go down to play with a friend or something, and they'd be going to benediction. And that influenced me. That
Your
I
parents?
remember for some
Your
reason.
parents.
That
Yeah.
church is important to those people. And so it should be important to me. And I think
You're talking about your parents.
my parents never made me go.
Right, but they went.
No.
They never went.
Oh, okay,
No,
but
my
somebody
dad
else.
worked
You
almost
saw
every
other
time.
people go.
I saw other people
Okay.
and taking their children and going.
Okay.
And it influenced me very much, that church is important and you should go to it. That my mom and dad were good people, but not always right.
One person that took me under his wing when I thought I wanted to be an electrician was Eddie Bruck, who turned out to be a good friend of mine. But
Mm-hmm.
back when I was an apprentice, well, he taught apprentice class, but he took me under his
Mhm.
wing, more
He's a
or
nice
less.
guy. Is he still alive?
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
In fact, he's over where Sue is.
Okay.
How old
She
might
died.
he be?
Ed?
Yeah.
85.
Okay.
Roughly. I mean,
He was over at Berkeley.
yeah.
I heard a saying that you're like the sum of your 10 closest friends. There's probably some truth to that. I mean, you kind of pick up a little bit from everybody you
From
hang
everybody.
around. Yeah.
I think we were both, I'm very fortunate in having friends from childhood on and then picking up more good friends in high school and retained all these friendships, and they're all good people,
Mm-hmm.
which you hang out with good people, you've got to be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know, if you select them right, you just hang out with good people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go selecting somebody that ain't good,
Well,
be a
that's
friend
true.
to.
Well, yeah, but sometimes fate deals you blows that you go the
Well,
wrong way.
that's
Mhm.
true.
And then we found each other, which helped a lot.
He survived the drive-in movie. I think it's
And the
Yeah.
mosquitoes.
that's true.
Yeah, you have mosquitoes that drive in movies, especially this one down here on the river.
Especially nowadays.
It was pretty bad back then.
Well, I'm just alluding to the
That's
fact that
back
it's now
when we
gravel
had to
pit.
take a little bottle of stuff
Put
and
it on
spread
there.
it on you.
Yeah.
We didn't have spray.
I remember those things.
Do you remember going to the drive-in movies when you were little?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't.
He doesn't?
Sure I do.
Do you remember us taking the thermos
The only
bottle
difference
with hot
between me and
dogs
you
in it?
is
You having hot dog sandwiches?
Thermos in a hot
I
dog
would
with
make
thermos?
hot dogs and put
Mhm.
them in a thermos bottle to keep
Dad's
hot,
coffee thermos
so we could have something to eat at the.
and a grocery bag full of popcorn.
I remember
Yep.
bringing popcorn
And
and drinks.
Jan and I would
Don't
be
remember
all
the
the
hot
way
dogs.
in the back, and
Not
Pat would be
specifically.
all the way in the front.
What?
Or Sue and Jan, or Sue and Beth. And all I remember is eating popcorn and falling asleep in the back of the station wagon.
I don't remember seeing a drive-in movie after there was 5 of us. I just remember me and
No,
Sue and
they
Jan.
probably didn't.
Yeah,
I don't remember them two.
yeah. Not sure I remember you either.
I remember taking you guys in your pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Get 'em ready for bed before we left.
When you were probably doing that, I was probably out on a date with Dottie or something. I don't remember those days.
Might
I
have been.
don't know about that, not yet. You were maybe 14,
When?
when he was about 2 and I was taking him in his little jammies.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but I don't remember that. For some reason. Of course, what I do remember is maybe the station wagon and sitting, folding chairs up in front of
Yes,
the station wagon,
yes.
and me and Sue
Hmm.
and Beth would sit in the front, and you two and the little ones might be in the back of the station wagon. Maybe.
Mhm.
Of course, now I kind of remember maybe Tim wanted to come up and sit with me, and I had to sit him on my lap. You were annoying.
I liked you, brother.
I'd take my cooking pot so you could go piddle in it.
It's a shame you don't have a 360 thing on that, so you could take pictures of you two too, so, since you become such a part of this.
Okay, going back and forth here, just a couple more questions, and I like switching it back and forth. All right, this may be a little bit redundant, but any time in your life you could go back and you made a mistake and you'd like to change it, whether it be financial or something you said to somebody or to each other or.
There's probably lots of those.
One of your
Well,
kids
you
or-
named it there.
Yeah.
Stuff I said to people, yeah. Don't ask me to remember.
Yeah,
You might not realize this, but Dad's a Meehan.
yeah, yeah.
It's like speak first, ask questions later.
Yeah. Put
I
these in.
have said a lot of things to a lot of people that I wish I hadn't,
Really?
but I'm surviving it anyway, and they did too.
The girls were talking about that yesterday.
Oh,
Well, what was it you said? That's not so bad, you could be from
Texas.
Texas.
Texas. Yes. I was there for that one.
Tim was
I
there
was
for
the
that.
witness, the one and only witness.
Yeah, that was
Mom and I.
Totally innocent, though.
It was very interesting. I'll tell that story some other time to the camera. Okay, my own words.
He'll exaggerate it worse than it
I can
was.
still
I don't think it can be exaggerated.
I can still see the eyes on the lady on the Appalachian Trail when Dad said, "So what do you do with those llamas when you get them up here? Eat them?"
Did he really?
I don't think I knew that.
I don't remember that at all.
They were backpacking llamas up
Yeah.
to Mount LeConte with
Well, they've been
supplies
doing
on
that
them.
forever, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you said. She said, "No, bring him back down."
Oh, heck.
What was the name of that place? We ran into that couple.
Ireland.
The
It
oldest,
was in Ireland.
The
It was-
oldest,
Yeah, it's
Oh, Surum? No, that's a different place. The stone building?
yeah,
What's that called, bro? Henge? Something Henge?
no,
No?
anyway.
I
I know
don't
what you're talking
remember.
about.
I don't remember. I
Seal
wanted
the
to say
stone
I wanted to say
structure.
something like Newgrange or something. But
Yeah, Grand.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense because it's the oldest standing building in the world.
Yeah.
It's
That's it,
called
Newgrange.
Newgrange. That made any sense. That was it, huh?
They were the only ones there,
Yeah.
besides us.
Yeah, I know. And they didn't talk to us for the rest of the tour. There was no
I can't
recovery.
remember how that was
No
brought
reco-
about.
Well, we had stayed in Dublin the night before,
Yeah.
and I thought it was okay. We went to a couple pubs or something, walked around, but this is the next morning, and we hadn't had time to talk about it, I guess, the three of us. But so we're waiting in line for the tour guide to show up, and it was a sunny morning but cold because it was like
It was cold.
November in Ireland, and probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was brisk, and a couple shows up, and I think she had a cowboy hat on,
Yeah.
and he did look somewhat foreign. I think he had glasses or whatever, and we're only about 30 miles from Dublin. And Dad says, "Boy, we stayed in Dublin the past couple of nights. What a dirty city, man! There was not really much nice
I don't
about it
remember
at
saying
all."
that at all.
I was like, "Boy, have you guys been to Dublin yet?" And the guy says, "Oh, I am from Dublin. I live in Dublin." And he goes, "Well, at least you're not from Texas." And the woman says, "I'm from Texas." So they pretty much turned their back toward us, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay.
The story that we
Makes,
found.
makes for a hell of a story.
Yeah.
And Susan says she takes, or I said she takes after you, because she was telling us some of the things she said lately. She said, "I don't know where it comes from, it just comes
It
out."
just comes out.
So you take after your dad. Gets her in trouble.
Yeah. That's a shame. If she could quell that now, it'd save her years of misery.
All right. I guess I'll stick to the easy questions. Okay.
How many
Any-
questions have you
Oh, I just got a couple more, and then we'll take a break.
Just
Sure.
one more.
Take a
Just
break.
one more.
Yeah, just one more. You got any really fond memories with your children?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know you have a lot.
Where do we start? Let's see,
Yeah.
Pat was born.
Yeah. I guess that's not a real good question, is it?
And we didn't realize
Okay.
how nice that was until we had another one.
Yeah, I have a lot of.
I mean,
fond
obviously,
memories with
we
each
taken
one.
some, we took some good vacations, and when we were kids, and as
Yes.
adults now,
Our camping.
camping trips.
Oh,
I mean, all the kids, I think, even Pat cherishes our trip out west, and I think it was because of the length of the trip, and it was all so new to us.
We were all together.
Yep.
There was nothing to distract us.
Nothing
we were all
to distract
family.
us, yeah.
And it was a nice
Even
long
Janet
time.
remembers all that. So, something odd about that.
That was great.
we even got a grandma, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
It was fun having her along. She helped out.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me, helped me like cook meals and help take care of you kids, and she always had money in her pocket for somebody, which helped. I got a lot of good memories. I wouldn't know where
Okay.
to start. I
All
wouldn't
right.
wanna slight somebody.
Again, I
by
just didn't
naming
know
them.
if there was something that you've been thinking about recently or something?
Recently?
Yeah, I don't know, or something you think of often. I don't know.
Well, our
Well,
trips that we took were
yeah.
absolutely the
Okay.
cream of the, top of the cream or something or other. They were wonderful. I'll always be good memories.
All right. Okay. All right. This
But
is
all
probably
of you
a.
as babies are very close to my heart, but you wouldn't remember anything, but I just remember little times of looking at you. They're mine.
Okay, I got one more question here with 5 parts, and then we'll take a break. We may or may not come back. Okay. And this is not gonna be fair, but we'll see how it works out. Okay, name something about, and we'll start with Jan. Name something about your daughter Jan, and this question's more for us kids than maybe for you guys, but it might be nice to hear the answer. Name something about Jan that you're really proud of.
Jan is a good person. Very good person. And,
This has all come out more recently.
well, I know Jan's always been a good person.
Yeah.
She just started being a good person, huh, Dad? Okay, let's let Dad talk for a
But
while.
other people seem to be noticing it and telling us things about Jan.
When you have people say,
Yeah.
she's the most holy one around.
She's a good person. We're very proud of Jan for what she is and what she tries to do.
What she's trying to do, yeah.
And then, of course, she's got faults too.
Well, we all have
Not too
faults. Yeah.
Tries to do too much, which would overwhelm anybody.
Just positive things. Though.
Very
You see
positive.
things you're proud of.
Jan's a
Well,
very
yeah.
good person.
Yeah. What about who's next?
You.
No, Sue. Let's talk about Sue.
No, I think the next is Tim.
Tim. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I
Okay.
can't think of anything.
Tim, you are a joy to me.
He's got a hell of a sense of
are
humor.
a
And
joy.
he's probably going to contribute to world peace somehow.
He's much taller than that.
Tim makes me laugh. And
That's
Tim's
something.
a good person.
Thank
He
you.
has a beautiful wife and 4 lovely children that he has given me.
Become a good daddy. When he's home.
And he's a good person.
Okay.
Became an electrical engineer.
Never thought he was gonna get
Now
there.
that was, talk about happy times.
I had no doubts. I know how to just skim by now,
That
but
was,
I
that
still
was,
do.
That was a delightful surprise, brother.
Why? You really didn't think I was going to be it?
You're graduating? Are you kidding?
All right.
It's only been 5 years.
Well, my old man was paying the bill, and I realized 14 credit hours is a heck of a lot easier than 18.
More bills than we expected.
You took 5 years?
4.5.
Okay.
Plus the summer,
Yeah, you graduated in December, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was taking 14, 15 credit hour semesters, and
Well,
it was that
Jen-
minus
Jenny's
that one class
Jenny's
was the
taking
only
12.
minus. Oh, is she?
Oh, yeah. She's
Really?
soaking me.
Well, she's working, and
Yeah, she is, but still, she's.
that's the only way I could get
That's
by.
all she can
It
handle.
really was. If I took 18 credit hours, I failed a class. So
You
the
pay
only way I
full
could do it.
tuition for the least number of credits you can get.
Okay, what about Susie?
Susie
Or as she
Moo.
likes to be called, Sue.
Susie Moo. Susie Moo is a very good daughter. She's a sweetheart. She loves her mommy and her
Something
daddy.
something you're proud about, Sue.
Something that we're proud about.
Well, she's found a job she was made
Yes.
for.
Oh, yes.
She's very outgoing.
She's
Isn't
finally got a
Very-
job.
She doesn't think she's that
She
outgoing.
found a job she's
She
made
is outgoing, I think. Outgoing
I
enough.
mean,
This job is
for. I
perfect.
think they love her over
Well, she's got that perpetual smile.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
she? She makes people happy,
She
doesn't she?
makes
Yeah.
people happy. She
Mhm.
makes me happy.
Mhm.
Susie's a good girl.
Okay, let's move on. Beth.
Beth. My Bethy's a good girl. Bethy has got a strong will, which is good for her and her husband and her family. She's good to me, takes good care of me when we go out.
Yeah.
She's a good person, got a good family.
She balances out our family, doesn't she?
What?
I mean, we all the kids balance out the family
Yes,
well.
everybody,
Yeah.
yes, that's
They all,
true.
they all do their
They
role.
all do.
If you needed an attack dog,
Oh, yes.
she would be it.
Beth is wonderful. I mean, if we go shopping and I get a little bit perplexed about something, she could step right in and handle anything. Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
She's great. God bless you, Bessie.
You know, it's a shame. No matter what you guys say, everybody's gonna be disappointed. Because I just realized you never said
It's
Beth was
tough.
nice.
I mean,
Beth is a very nice person.
Everybody else so far has been nice.
Everybody's
This
loves
is
everybody
why.
loves
I know. This
Yeah,
is,
we
this is
all
not
get the
good.
same thing for Christmas, the same thing for your birthdays, because we ain't catering to any of you,
Yeah.
Beth, I love you, dear.
because it comes
You're a
back
good
to haunt
girl.
you.
All right. Last but not least, the
My eldest son,
Yeah.
Pat.
that
What can we say about Pat?
She calls me every day and tells me how much.
Pat is my little Patty boy. He always will be.
It's taking you back to your childhood.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I can feel myself sitting in that sink upstairs. Where the heck was I?
Yeah, where were you?
Shepherd Street or something? I don't know where I was.
No,
Where?
when you were in that sink, you were at Aunt Donna's house upstairs on
Oh, that's the
Yankee
place.
Road.
Yankee Road.
Okay.
yeah.
The Naughty Pine apartment.
I have always been proud of my Pat. He put a lot of elbow grease into everything he's done all his life.
hmm Amen.
He's a good boy, good man.
Okay.
Good purchasing agent.
I liked being a purchasing.
He was a good purchasing agent.
Birch,
Who
yes,
wouldn't?
yes.
Get all the perks.
No, I liked beating up the salesman.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It was a
That's
game,
fun, too.
you know. I mean, I wanted to win.
And I'll never forget a lot of the talks that we used to have. Our talks.
I do.
I cherish those talks.
I still do.
When did you have talks?
Oh,
For the rest
gosh,
of us.
When you kids were still little, he was anywhere from
When he
12
was-
up to
when he was-
getting married, I
When
guess.
okay, so when he was in conversation age and you
Yes,
were still
yes.
raising the rest
Just
of your family.
I'd sit down on Southern Hills, I'd be in the living room, he'd come in and sit down, and we'd start talking. Remember, Pat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember
We
a time
talked
not
about
talking.
anything from soup to nuts.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a little break and see if we got any more
Okay.
questions.
We'll only be gone 5 minutes. We'll be
We
right
got
back.
5 minutes. Yeah. Fine. Okay, we're back live. For four
What-
of
what's
us.
the
Live
date?
for four of us.
What's the
It's still
October
2008, October
2008,
1st. Yep.
Wednesday evening. It's 9:07.
All right, we got just a few more questions. Been saying that for about an hour.
Just one more question.
Like each of you to answer this question. This is going to be a tough one. Use your head. Take a few minutes to think about it. We can even pause the tape. Okay. Name two things about yourself that no one knows, nobody else knows about yourself. Except for perhaps your spouse, maybe, since obviously you guys have been together a long time. But,
I am what you see.
nothing that happened maybe when you were a kid, never shared with anybody, or like, for example, like mom, you've never gotten your hair wet in your entire life.
I have two. I used to go swimming.
Oh, okay.
I can't help it, I look like a drowned rat when my head gets wet. I don't like people to to see that.
Her forehead actually goes back 4 inches
Now,
farther.
that's something that nobody has ever seen. And today it isn't covering.
Get a
too
high
well.
forehead now. Okay.
Very high forehead.
I've never been on a horse.
Ah, see, that's a good one there.
Never
It's
been on
interesting.
skis.
Really?
I've never jumped out of an airplane.
I never knew the horse and ski thing.
Well, I probably would have guessed the ski thing. I would have never guessed you'd never
Why
been on
would
a
you
horse.
guess the
So
ski thing? He
Never
took
been
me
on a
skiing.
horse.
you took Pat skiing?
Yeah. The
I
only times I've
water
ever
skied.
skied, I was with him.
Water ski.
Water ski.
Water skied, but I've never snow skied.
Oh, I thought you were talking about water ski.
No.
Mm-hmm. Well, seeing as we live where there's only one ski lift, and that's
Well,
fairly new.
the ski lift was for you guys.
Yeah.
Our ski lift was over here at Potter's Park. Mine was next door to my great aunt's, which was behind our house. We're on Fleming Road.
Fleming.
They skied in Middletown.
Not really.
I was gonna say, what was it, like 10 seconds? Oh,
It
up
wasn't
again.
even that much. That was a sled place, really.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing better than me. I can't think of any.
Can't think of
I've
anything
had
nobody
ice
else
skates
knows.
on, but I never learned to ice skate.
Like you poopied your pants once when you were waiting on the emergency room doctor to come. Anything?
Tim, you're kind of.
I'm the only person that's done
Yeah,
that.
you're kinda unique there, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's something we're not gonna write about.
When I went to church, I had to walk across the street and walk around the front of Holy Trinity Grade School. And right in front of that school, 2 different times. First time was I had a wasp fly right in my ear and stung me right there.
Ouch.
On my way to Sunday Mass. That hurt. And another time I was walking around the church and one of the pigeons lived up there and shit on me. That's hard when you're trying to go to
Mhm.
church and you got stew all over you.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Keep talking, Dad. Mom hasn't thought of anything yet.
I honestly can't
She's
think
an
of
open
a thing.
book.
When I was a little girl
Come
who
on.
played Red Rover, I dare you come over. They always dared me to come over because they knew I couldn't break anybody.
Because you were
You
skinny.
know what Red
Didn't
Rover
weigh
is.
anything.
And whenever they had to come our direction, they always hit me because they knew I'd fall down. I was such a little tiny skinny thing. Here, it's a wimp. It's one thing I couldn't like on Red Rover.
I'm with you there.
You got to do better than that, Mom. Got to be something. Come on, name something you've
I
never
never-
shared with anybody.
I never hollered when I had my children. 5 children, never let out a yelp.
There you
I
go.
might have bent a thumb, but I never yelped.
Well, how do you explain the scar on Dad's chest?
You better do the explaining on that one, I didn't do
Oh.
it.
Okay. All right. Mom, you mentioned that your parents never really made you go to church, and we know now already. We talked about how Dad, since he was 5, he's only missed a couple Sunday masses.
No, wait a minute, I didn't say they never made me go to church, I never missed mass.
She
I'm
didn't-
talking
she
about
wasn't made to go to
benediction
benediction.
in the afternoon.
No, you're just talking about extracurricular,
Yes,
or what we
yes.
consider nowadays extracurricular. Back
Well, they
then
used to have benediction at least
Benediction.
once a week.
They had it every Sunday afternoon.
At least once a week.
No, I
Okay.
never missed a mass, they always made sure I went to church,
Well,
They made sure you went to church.
yes.
there's an observation on this side of the camera that perhaps you, and this is rather unique, perhaps, is that you two may be more devout Christians than your parents were, as a whole.
Practicing.
Is there a?
Is that true?
Is that true?
You don't know what is in somebody's heart,
Well, we said the word practicing.
yes.
Is that
So
true?
I don't know how deeply religious my mom and dad were. But my dad went to church every other Sunday. We didn't have Saturday masses back then. He worked every other Sunday from like, 7 or 8 in the morning until late in the afternoon. He could have probably made it to a 6:30 mass, but he didn't. That always bothered me, but it never bothered him. I guess, he had his excuses, he needed his sleep. And Mom occasionally did not get there. She always had her reasons too, I guess, but that bothered me. I remember growing up and thinking, something's wrong here. But mostly they were very good Catholics, very good.
It's surprising how many people were not that close to the church. They were Catholic, yeah, but they didn't take much to keep them home. And there was, I'm sure you've seen it, I think you might have seen it anyway in your lifetime, but the men would go to church and stand out in front of church smoking cigarettes till the sermon was over. And they'd go in, go to communion, come back out, light up another cigarette. It was pretty bad for a long time
I don't
there.
remember that. That must have been at your church.
You probably never noticed
Maybe
it.
that might
Might be more of an Irish thing.
I don't know if it's more of an Irish thing.
No? Well, where did you see
It
it?
was an Irish thing, but I don't know.
Is,
They-
You're talking about Holy Trinity or St. Joe's?
Well, I've witnessed Holy Trinity, I
Yeah.
didn't witness St. Joe's. I couldn't say they did it at St. Joe's since I've been there.
I don't remember ever having that. As he says, I wasn't aware of it on back.
There are still people that come in late and leave early.
Oh, yeah.
Still, you just try not to do it so obvious.
so your parents, were grandma and grandpa, they were your religious role models, but it probably wasn't until you were adults and later in life that you realized you're a little bit more devout, perhaps, than maybe one or both of your parents, or I mean, Grandma
I'm having
Meehan.
trouble hearing you, Tim.
Your parents were always your role models as far as going to church and being a good Christian. And it probably wasn't until later in life that you were an adult that you realized that perhaps you were a better practicing Catholic than one or both of your parents, maybe, or.
I think personally I made it a point to try to be.
Was
But it probably, I don't know, I guess I was religious when I was younger too, somewhat. And I've always had role model friends, friends that
mhm.
talked religion now and then.
Okay.
Well, you said you had observed the other families having,
Yes, yes, very much.
participating in benediction and the
Yeah.
like.
And other people, I am very aware of all the old people that went to St. Joe's from when I can remember on up. They're all gone now. And I really can picture them and how they acted in church and the devoutness that some of them had. And it impressed me very much.
When you guys met each other and you started dating, was the fact that you were both pretty well devout Catholics a factor in deciding, hey, this is the person for me?
I don't know if we'd have used the term devout then.
I think it was.
So you were pretty normal back then, as far as I mean,
I think
but
we were,
I'm trying to figure
yeah.
out. I mean, there were women that probably didn't go to church every week and things like that. Obviously, when you started getting serious, you realized, hey, this is a good Catholic
Yeah.
church going woman.
Yeah.
You asked the question before, it was something maybe nobody knows, and I can tell you one now. Maybe he knows it, I don't know. I had a prayer that I found somewhere when I was probably 17, 18, before I met him. It was a prayer to Saint Joseph. And it was a beautiful prayer. I wish I could find the copy because I had handwritten it off of something. And I said it every night before I went to bed about finding a good boy for a husband someday. And lo and behold, I got me a Joe.
The prayers got answered.
So I think
You
that
told
was,
me that one time, it's been a long time ago.
I think that was a factor, that when I met him, I knew he appeared to be, I don't know that we sat and discussed religion, but, I
I'm
think
sure.
we both knew that each other was
Mhm.
pretty much into
Well,
our
we-
church.
Practice the faith then.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call me devout by any means. Then,
Well, you went to church all the
I
time.
went to church, but,
Yeah, that's, I did too.
yeah. We grew into what we are,
We did,
and we did it together.
and we did it together.
And I wouldn't say we're great now, but whatever we are, we grew into it together.
I'll tell one more thing, and it's gonna be a little bit maybe embarrassing if people see this that I don't want to see, but when I was in high school.
This won't be released till post, you know.
When I was,
Part of
well, it's just, it kinda sounds like.
You won't be
too-
embarrassed.
too
Let's just say
religious,
that.
Maybe, I don't want you to think I'm a holy, cause I'm not, I've got all my faults. But when I was in high school, we had a little mini retreat in school. And the priest taught us, to say the prayer of 5 Hail Marys with your arms outstretched, kneeling down, followed by, I can't hardly say it now until I say the Hail Marys because it doesn't want to come out. What is it you say?
Glory be.
Glory be.
No.
Our Father.
No, the little thing you follow it with, Lord. I'll think of it in a minute. It's just like Jesus protect us or something like that.
Okay.
And I said it from that day on, every single night, from like, I guess maybe I was a senior, I don't know. And we got married, and we went our first night to the hotel, and my mind is, what do I do? What do I do? I always kneel down, say my prayers, what do I do? What do I do? You know, there's this guy I married to now, I gotta start out right, so I knelt down and said my prayers, and I don't know if you remember, but I did do that. I think you even asked me what I was doing. He didn't do it for a long, long time until you went to a retreat yourself many years ago. And some priest told them about
Is that where
it,
that came from?
and he's been doing it ever
You
since.
do that still?
No, but all my childhood, I'd walk into mom and dad's room and they're saying their prayer and they're really got their arms spread out like
Remember that
that.
too.
Well,
Yes.
if
Well, I was
you
taught-
live long
And-
enough, your children will witness it too.
Yes, well,
because
we do it when we take
our
them.
grandchildren are getting baptized in it too.
Hmm?
We say it when we have our
Discreetly,
13-year-olds.
but I mean, they are right
Oh,
there. They
okay.
usually hop in their beds and we kneel down and say our prayers, and if they open their eyes, they see us.
We leave it up to them. We don't make them do it or anything. Just leave it up to them.
I
Funny thing
usually
is,
kiss them goodnight and say your prayers.
I remember that conversation with my wife shortly after I got married. It was like, how do you want to say prayers together? And my parents always stick their arms out like
5 Hail Marys.
5 Hail Marys.
And the promise is, if you do that every night, you'll go to heaven.
Now, I haven't
Now,
missed
who
a
made
few
the
nights.
promise? I don't know.
No questions asked.
Father Bauer.
Yeah.
No, it was
No.
way before Father Bauer.
No way.
Now, why did I
Of
bring
course,
that up?
if
What
you
about
do that every night, you gotta
Something,
be
Something no one
you
else
have it
knows.
anyway.
Yeah.
What?
That was
Talking about-
something
Brought
no
it
one
up.
else knows.
Catholicism.
But those are the growths that we've had in our marriage
Mm-hmm.
that took us to where we are now. And it's been good.
I'm happy.
Hmm.
Can't you tell I'm happy?
Did we answer all that, or whatever
Yeah, I
it
think
was you
so.
were asking?
Mm-hmm.
Did you run out of questions? Do we have to sit
No, I
here
got a
and
couple
feel
more. I just got a
embarrassed?
couple more.
Just one more question.
Just one more
Is a
question.
couple 2 or 1?
Well, a couple parts each one.
One question, 7 parts, 8 subsections.
So you've matured as
Passion of Christ, save us. That's what you say. 5 Hail Marys.
You say this every night and you don't.
Passion of Christ, save us. Well, I can't. It doesn't. It's like
Yeah.
Carmen
It must be
Ann.
hell at nighttime. Gosh, what do I say next?
No, it comes
I've been
out
saying this
real
prayer
easy.
for the last-
have
You
to say
haven't,
Hail Mary
you haven't
first.
hit that phase yet.
She's only been saying for.
Yes, I have.
Let's calculate this. 365 times 5 times a night times 55 years.
Have you gone down to your basement and stopped and said to yourself,
Why am I here?
yes,
Every day, Dad.
okay.
Every day. Today I was
You?
counting off with
What?
the girls and I said, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you go down to your basement and stop and, what am I doing down here? What I come
Oh,
down here?
jeez, Dad.
Huh?
I get up 10 times a day out of my office chair, walk out in the hallway, and think, okay, go back in. I have to keep a
Let's
note.
start this
I have to
over.
keep notes right in front of me, or I can't remember what I'm
I
going to
used
do
to
after
tell
I get
people
done.
with meetings and stuff, I got 3 points I want to discuss. And I'd only get through 2 and they'd say, what's the third? And I say, hell, I don't know.
I can't remember now. No, literally, if the phone rings, I do not answer it anymore because I know if I get to that, I won't remember what the heck I was doing. And I'm trying to raise all these kids, and they're yanking on me all the time. And oh, hang on, just a minute before I forget.
Okay.
All right, easy question. Smoking was in vogue back when you were young
Very much.
newlyweds.
It was in vogue long before we were newlyweds.
Were you just smarter than everybody else?
Why don't you
Why
smoke?
do you smoke? Didn't like it?
I tried smoking when I was all of 16,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it at all.
Never stopped anybody
I
else.
did not like it at all. It tasted bad, made me feel bad, made me smell bad. Oh, this ain't worth it. And
Why?
God was just looking over me, I think.
I think so.
He looked over a whole couple of generations of people
I
there.
never wanted to smoke after that. I smoked a couple cigars only because it was the thing to do, and I won't even do that because it's the thing to do anymore. I haven't done that for probably 50 years.
I did smoke, but not very much. I never even thought about smoking until I was 20 years old on a train going to Florida with Charlotte and Joanne. And Joanne smoked. She went to college and picked up the bad habit. And she says, okay, I'm teaching. We said, we don't know how. I don't know how to smoke. Charlotte didn't know how to smoke. I'll teach you. So we went into the bathroom in the train, in the lounge, and she got out her cigarettes and she taught us both how to smoke and inhale and look sophisticated. So I smoked a little bit with her down in Florida. And then when I came home, if we'd go out on the weekend, I'd buy a pack of cigarettes. I'd smoke one, maybe 2. They'd stay in my purse the whole week until they got stale. I'd pitch those out and buy another pack maybe a few weeks later. So I probably have never smoked more than 3 packs in my whole life. But I bought more. I smoked. He did not like it when we got married, so I never smoked at all around the house, never did anything. But when we went to bingo, when we moved to Hamilton, I went to bingo on Monday nights with my mother. Clear up until I was pregnant with Beth, I would smoke at least 1 cigarette on a Monday night. She'd give them to me, and everybody, you might as well smoke because everybody's smoking.
You secondhand smoke
Yeah.
2
And
packs a
then I
night.
started to feel a little sick to my stomach when I was pregnant with Beth. And I thought, this is not good, and I never smoked after that.
Well, I know that
Yeah.
story's not true because if it was true, your knees would be bad.
Uh-oh. It says I'm running out of tape.
It's flashing.
It's flashing, yeah.
Okay, last question then. I don't know how long this goes. But what's the one thing you want to accomplish? I don't know. Is it still recording? Yeah, I think it is. Something you want to accomplish before you kick the bucket. Quickly.
Uh,
You got
I just
anything in
wanna
your head?
stay healthy
I know
enough.
Dad likes to travel and things, but anything?
He wants to travel. If he wants to travel, I'll travel with him if it sounds good. I just want us to both be healthy and then die very close to each other, because I don't wanna be alone,
Mhm.
and I don't want him to have to be alone.
Mm.
That's what I want.
We both agreed on that,
Okay. Just go out with dignity and
together.
as
Wow,
close as
dignity.
possible together. Great. That'll be great.
This-
That's good to know. So if one of you dies soon, we'll be like, hang in there. Don't go yet. We still need the other one.
Huh.
Okay. Well, apparently we've used at least this 8-hour tape. I don't know.
Well, you didn't know 8
See,
hours.
those are 60 minutes.
Oh, 60-minute tapes.
You
Oh,
don't have that
interesting.
on long play or something.
I must have it on long play because we've been going for 2 hours. But, all right, well that'll finish it up for tonight, and we'll come back sometime soon when you guys have gray hair and have some more questions. Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed it. This is my brother Pat over here.
Interesting. The things
Get down there.
you think of to ask.
Bye.
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 How did that happen? Okay. No.